Hi, Brian here from the Anglesey and Model Railways, and firstly apologies for the later than expected update from NAM68. It's been a labour of love. I have had plenty of hours put into this layout, and a lot of them are to do with weathering and detailing and scratch building structures and getting signs printed and made, and what slowly but surely adding some character with the more and more details I'm acquiring. Some nice touches getting placed in there, and I'm certainly enjoying doing it. So yeah, we'll carry on with the layout update in just a second while I insert some pictures of this. That's KR Models CAD drawing of an HO scale locomotive. I've put a deposit on it, and I shall be receiving that locomotive next year once I've finished paying it off, and look forward to doing a small logging layout based around this showpiece Shay locomotive. Looking forward to getting it, which leads on to the unfortunate saga of a 3-truck Heisler in HO scale that was going to accompany the Shay locomotive on this layout, because they work together well. Were found to work together, these locomotives, during that era, and unfortunately there was a missing transmission shaft from it, and that meant that it wasn't working properly. The seller accepted the fault and admitted that he'd sent it with the fault, not realising that this was an issue, and I got a full refund. So I went on to buy this. That's the mini trains F&C Forney 044 and 009 narrow gauge, which will accompany the Little Grief locomotive. And that locomotive will be part of another small diorama, probably snow Christmas based type idea that I'm working on. Not for this year but for next year. So plenty of layout ideas going on up here, as well as what's going on with NAM68. So here's the update. Thanks for your patience, and I'll speak to you at the end. Thank you. This modern day picture of the Trying Port shows where the river meets the sea. For the street details, I decided to take some inspiration from photos I found online. The aged textures, the rough cast of the walls, pan-tile roofs, etc. Plenty of awnings and signs all over the place, and you can see the roads aren't in very great repair either. I was unhappy with the original signal box, which I scratch built in the shape of a curve to suit that area. I then purchased a Wills kit, repainted it to suit the local livery, and done some fine details inside. Here we see benches, shelves, tables, people, timetables, etc. I might like this at some point. Moving on to the area, now we're wanting to get these buildings built up in this particular area with shop fronts, a 2-storey building, typical of the era. Using scale model scenery card, I measured out the area and cut out the shapes for the shop fronts, doors and windows. Using scale model scenery door and window kits, I then made these kits up and placed them inside the slots. The addition of a balcony, you can see here, helps add to the feel of the period. The texture on the front of the building is PVA covered with building sand to create a rough texture. I cover the whole building in this. It's very effective and the various bumps and lumps show aging, prototypical to a sea facing building, particularly at a port. I think you'll agree the effects are quite lumpy, as they say. And here we've got some paint, white, usual bright colours which will be weathered. Placement of the doors I felt were okay, but sticking right to the edge of the building I wasn't happy with. Once I placed it on the layout, I could see that these would need to be recessed. So I set about forming small inserts in each of the doors in order to show a recess and place the door into the building to give the walls depth. You can see here that it looks far more effective. For the roof, I used Will's Kit Pantile roofing, which I suitably went on to paint and weather. I also used some of the Pantile roofing to form a little awning roof on the front of the balcony. For the shop fronts, I designed 3 pieces of card cut into foldable doors, deciding to leave the end one open where I will place a barber shop and some details. With the electrical junction boxes and cables starting to be applied to the front and weathering added, I feel that the details are starting to come together. Then I constructed a fence using styrene plastic and florist wire. Here we can see the fence starting to come together. Wasn't too worried about it being very accurate and straight due to the age of the building and the amount of usage this area would have had. You can see the character starting to develop in this area. For the signage on NAM68, I went with period correct adverts that I found online. As you've seen in the earlier pictures, I've went for slits, high nos, oil adverts, cigarette adverts for cameras, etc. And I've started placing them on the side of the engine shed, supported by wooden battens, and you can see here that I've weathered and detailed that area to a point that I'm quite happy with it, starting to add character to it. And on the roof to your right there is the orange sign for the Honda, which I built a frame for and a wooden platform for people to change the sign. And here we are at the port area. I've got tyres from ANYSCALE models, cut the bottoms off and placed them in the water, put a rope round the boat and secured them to the port side with little pieces of rope, which is just twine. And the water had little dusting of white to show the white caps as the water's kind of splashing around at that area. Thanks again for tuning in to the Angel Share Model Railways and this update on my narrow gauge layout NAM68. I think you'll find that it's slowly but surely coming together. Still got plenty of details to add, lighting to add, rolling stock, another locomotive and plenty of small details still to come in order to set up the cameo scenes. So yeah, thanks again for your patience. Slowly but surely we'll get there, and this layout, being unique as it is, deserves the time and attention that I want to put into it. And hopefully, as a member of the 009 Society ScOONs area group, we are looking to attend exhibitions throughout the year, and I would like to get NAM68 to some of those exhibitions. So if you're out and about, I might be there on the narrow gauge stand with this layout, hopefully at some point in the future. Take care, all the best, until the next time, bye bye.